and company having a after-school program where I happen to have the pleasure of teaching young people, or people of all ages, for a nominal fee. It's so nominal that it's non-existent. We do it for free to teach the farm-to-table movement every Wednesday at 4:30 at the Center for Creative Education at Railroad Avenue, just around the corner from Little Italy on Thomas Street. And you want to check that out so your kids and grandkids and mom and dad and everybody can learn how to grow their own food and not necessarily support the big box stores or middlemen and, Monsanto and Cargill and DuPont. Oh, as much as we love them, we really love it when you produce your own food and it's healthy and it's no spray and no herbicides and all toxic chemicals and gamma rays and things like that. So, Al, are your new bird devices here, again called roosting boxes?
Roosting boxes.
Roosting boxes. This is so elaborate. I don't imagine a person being able to make this at home. This is not something you could just whip up in 5 minutes. This is a creation that takes thought and talent, and each one is unique.
Every one of them is different.
Everyone's different, but they're available at Adams Fairacre Farms in Kingston?
Adams Fairacre Farms in Kingston, and if you go on my website, almassa.com, and order one before Thanksgiving, we'll do free shipping, which will hurt like anything.
Beautiful. Yeah, I hear you. Well, but think of all the birds you save. Think of all the birds you save. And are you able to repurpose some of the material I see on
I have a whole set that I've done from a fence that was torn down through that microblast that hit Kingston.
Nice.
Over the summer. And my neighbor's fence ended up in my yard.
Nice. So you wind up with free lumber.
Making houses. Don't say that. But
yeah, mess. A big mess.
I converted them into beautiful hamlets for my birds.
Beautiful. Well, that's a wonderful project, and I'm going to have to go check them out at Adams. I know you had a lot of variety of birdhouses there. Have you been selling like hotcakes?
They've been selling well.
Selling well. Keeping it hopping.
Yeah, the roosting nests are perfect for the winter, provide safety for the birds, so the cats don't get them.
Right. And the other thing we could do is encourage people, keep the cat inside. It's not even a real animal. I love cats. I have them, but I mean, they're not wild. They're not supposed to be just predating everything that moves outside. As much as I love them. They love being in the house. They cackle, they look out the window and they watch the birds, but they don't necessarily eat them.
Sparrows, they get kind of like flattened out in the winter, so they get in that hole. But basically, it's small birds, and they'll congregate there. You'll get 6 or 8 of them in there.
Yeah, the advantage of having your cat in the house is A, it doesn't kill everything that moves, and they live twice as long. The outdoor cat's life expectancy is kind of short, comparatively speaking. My house cats live between 18 and 21 years, and not bad. 21 years, the older ones, but the outdoor cats, not so much. They usually become road pizza. Or they have dogs chasing them and using them for toys and tossing them up in the air. And they don't
Speaking
do so
of
well
road
with
pizza,
that.
I thought we were talking about Thanksgiving dinner.
Yes, Thanksgiving dinner. I know. I'm still waiting for Graziano. Well, we'll give you the 4-minute Thanksgiving dinner. We used to have Mima make the Thanksgiving dinner, and we used to have the other side of the family was German, so we had a lot of European influence, and the food was always great. Didn't matter what kind. But the Italian dinner was always a little bigger and more festive. And so you would have your stuffed breast of veal and your stuffed artichokes and your meatballs and spaghetti or lasagna and the turkey and the stuffing, which usually had chestnuts in it. Then you had the Italian bread, which was usually garlic bread. And then you had your biscotti, which were handmade. And we weren't allowed to touch them until the proper time when they get slapped. But the pasta dishes, the broccoli rabe, which I couldn't really get over, but it was a little bitter. But you put a little lemon juice on it, that helps. We used to sit down around noon, and around midnight you're still sitting around, but you can't hardly move or breathe because you're bloated. The pumpkin pies, the apple pies, the pecan pies, the whipped cream, homemade whipped cream on everything. And lots and lots of garlic and olive oil and basil and oregano everywhere. Grated cheese, mostly Romano. I don't know what was up with that. But we used to do a lot of Romano cheese, and we used to sit around and eat and drink for 12 hours. And then people would stop by, right? People like here at the Italian show, it didn't matter who they were, they'd just pop in. Hey, sometimes they carried gifts, and sometimes they wouldn't need any help opening the door because they just came for the food. But, me, I start pottering around or, doddering around at 4 in the morning, humming. The coffee's brewing. She's making the homemade English muffins, which I thought was insane. At 4 in the morning. But it smelled great. You grind the coffee, the house would shake because the thing was bolted to the wall, the jar, and grinding the coffee beans. I used to like to help with that. And, it was interesting. So you would have a little vino. The kids would have some, usually put a little soda in it, call it a spritzer. And that's how I got my start here in radio. But we normally would, eat for 12 hours and then peter off and maybe they go watch TV, play some music. And like with your guitar, we had all instrumental stuff going on in the house. We had the organ, we had the accordion, we had some guitars, and a lot of singing. It didn't matter whether it was caroling or other, but there was a lot of singing going on. And I remember eating, until you could hardly walk or breathe and kind of lay around, fall asleep in the living room. But the food was great. Everybody was welcome, and that's the same thing here every Sunday. The Italian show doesn't have to be Thanksgiving. Warren Lawrence is going to take us out with a song. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Yay!
Ow! Your music isn't depressing.
Oh, good.
What?
That music is
Oh no, it's not. But it's presented in a certain way, so it doesn't
He
sound
thinks it's
depressing.
confrontational. It doesn't come off confrontational.
No, it doesn't come off that way.
That
Yeah.
was really cool.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
These are gorgeous. I'm glad they're,
Now,
I'm glad
the
they're
only
selling
thing-
well. That's awesome.
You know what? What I
should do a
remember
pop-up
about my
on-
Italian
on
side of the
purpose.
family is that I would starve myself for at least a day before I went.
Nice.
Smart guy, right?
Yeah. Yep. You're being supportive of the
No,
chefs.
no, they don't play no games.
How do you
And you
know
better
which
eat everything.
proportion?
That's right.
You're
That's
gonna
right.
insult it.
Clean it up.
Hey, you could use Purchase.
Thank you for having
in
me.
the shelves. It's just a place for them to rest.
Yeah.
Thank you. We'll look for you in New
So you
Paltz.
don't need, you don't.
That's right.
you don't
Tell a
have to-
friend.
Because they could,
Nice to
Figure it out.
yeah, they could go on a wire. So shelf is fine. So there's no real on the inside. It's just a matter of how many I could provide for them
Just as
in
long
the
as it's high,
space.
just as long as
Yeah.
it's high up. for
I
the
want to
heat
get
to
it
rise.
high up, and then I always put one over the door so the cold air doesn't.
How many years you been doing this?
Actually, I was a teacher, high school art teacher,
Oh, wow.
and I retired about 3 years ago.
Okay.
And I used to teach sculpture and metals and glass. So now, and every time the kids would come in the class, in the sculpture class, they wouldn't know what to do. And I would always get the kids that were borderline psychopaths. So I said, oh, you don't know what to do. Let's do something that you could give to your parents or put outside. Let's do a birdhouse. And then they would start with that. So when I retired, I didn't know what to do. So I said, well, let me start like the kids. Let me start with a birdhouse. I started with a birdhouse, made the door.
Wow.
So I've been making them.
What a great story. That's
Well,
that's
I
a
was
beautiful story.
I was hoping
Let's
that.
start with the same thing you were teaching.
Yeah, well, that's it's like I don't know what to do. I don't know what to make. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the wood, I started. I have a little place upstate, and they're all woodies up there.
Thank you.
So they
You
started.
want to do me a favor and tidy up a little bit?
Look at this.
Thank you.
This is right on the.
You can
Central
recycle
cut
them right back into
of
the
wood.
little
When you
containers.
varnish this,
All
if
right.
you sand this and varnish this, you'll see a cross grain going through here. So I'm always trying to pick up the pieces. of
Recycling here at the Italian show.
best-
We don't like
best
waste.
centerpieces.
We don't like to
So,
waste anything.
That's right.
You can see the cross.
We're
grain
healthy
line here.
people that
That's
want to
right.
stay healthy.
On the ones
Healthy,
that I
beautiful
finish, super
people.
finish,
Yeah.
this really comes out.
Hey, that one's still good. Yeah, you take that one home. That's your
And some of the
paycheck.
other woods that I
My
use,
paycheck?
That's your
they
paycheck.
get
Every day
really
I get a
crazy
paycheck?
up there.
Yeah, you may have to share with Italia, but
I just love the form.
No, my paycheck is single.
Oh, I
Thank you,
love
sir.
women.
That was
thank
very
you.
good.
You're too kind.
What I'm looking, I was hoping that.
Thanks for having me,
Actually
bud.
play some really good music.
God bless.
Oh, thanks, man. I
I was
appreciate it,
hoping
man.
I sing a
that
lot,
Joe
but I
was
don't
gonna
use
be
myself.
here,
Me too.
because
He's
I
too
brought
busy.
I
something
do a
for
lot of
him to
anime.
see.
All right.
He has-
anime.
He has the Broadway Arts. When I was teaching art, I used to get a lot of these kids that were borderline, and they always wanted to do, they didn't want to do any of the artwork that I had to do with the class. And they all wanted to do graffiti. So I started to teach them graffiti. I said, if you want to do it right. Because they used to do tagging. And they would say, oh, tagging, that's graffiti. I had one kid that was arrested for doing tagging. So I did a piece for Joe. I wanted to show it to
Awesome.
Joe. I brought it here.
Awesome. Oh, that's great.
Wow.
That's a Joe piece?
Wow.
So
Awesome.
I was wondering if Joe would show that in his gallery.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right. And he collaborated with you on this one? or-
Wow.
Oh, you just
He
inspired
has
it
no
for-
idea what I did.
It's
Well, let's see that, because he can see it
great.
online now.
Oh, he can?
Yep. We
Hey,
can see
Joe.
it on the Italian show.
Give me a call.
Awesome.
Yeah, isn't that
So
cool?
great.
I was born and raised in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So I said, let me do something now this comes out. This could actually be used as a birdhouse. This comes out a
Nice.
clean shelf under here and under there.
Mm.
So I want to do a few based on my,
That's great.
but I want to talk to Joe. I want,
Beautiful. Yeah, he will say yes. I'll say yes for him. Let's see if we give it a little spin in front of the
Who doesn't want to live
the
in that?
Italian camera. Wow.
Now this was the first one I did, just as an experiment. Now
These are gonna have to be a little more money than the regular one.
when I was younger, I was an airbrush artist. So I could airbrush, and the next ones I want to do, I want to do with airbrush. So this is kind of like the fooling around thing that I do.
That's great.
But
I'd
anyway,
like to be the first customer. That's beautiful.
You like that?
Yeah. That's more than beautiful.
tell Joe, give me a call. I want to talk to him about
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
I got some stuff I want to
hmm That's right up his alley. I've been trying to get him to do smaller art, accessible art,
do. Right,
and usable, durable art that people will incorporate in their everyday lives.
right.
This is something, imagine the birds, how happy and proud. I would like to see a woodpecker somehow reside in there.
A woodpecker?
Yeah, the black and white with the little flash of red. Or maybe a nuthatch. Or a chickadee.
A chickadee would be.
Color
The color would go
blending,
right
yeah, I
with a
wanted the
chickadee.
colors to work.
A
Yeah.
chickadee sitting on a branch would just disappear
Yeah.
in a place like that.
Yeah, and that'd be, actually, these could be ways of protecting them because they're camouflaged.
I
So the predators won't be able to see them.
have a whole bunch of ideas to go with this. I used to try to get the kids at school to do this, and they just they weren't motivated enough,
Wow.
and they couldn't get the idea going.
Well, that's better than good. It's better than best. It's awesome. Even the birds will be impressed.
Well, tell Joe to give me a call.
I will.
Send me an email.
He'll read it online. He'll see it when he goes on Periscope, YouTube, Facebook, MySpace, Kick, Instagram. He'll be watching videos all over the world, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. It's so awesome. And the quality. So this is not only, I'm sure you painted it with durable,
Yes,
There-
well, it's sprayed with a varnish.
uh-huh.
Yeah, this is the metal stripping, but the next ones that I'm gonna do them for, that you would be able to use it inside, as an inside piece, a mantelpiece, and a couple of other ideas that I have to work with this. But I wanna continue working on this idea of incorporating the way I grew up with this. So it's a combination. And we also,
Oh, okay. So I'll find it.
I use
The S is used to the other set.
I did a couple on trips when I came back from Italy. I did a few that incorporate the Italian theme.
Whoa.
That's some birdhouse.
What is this?
That's trippy birdhouse.
Yo.
Hey!
That's like a Matteo special
It
birdhouse.
sure is. You ain't lying.
That's
This
right up
is
your alley.
Nice.
Now what you do is you put the CD player in there and you start playing your music and see what kind of birds show up.
Oh, you got some crazy
Now
birds.
listen.
Okay.
Now listen. All right, I'm gonna get out of here, guys.
This is
the-
You guys
this is
enjoy your
the-
day, all right?
Be safe and
This
well.
is the penthouse suite.
You see, you kind of get me going here.
Hmm.
Because
The
when I
cat's
do-
meow.
When I do something like that, you kids look at me, that's nice, it's okay. But this is where it's at. I mean, this is where people are interested in, especially
This
the
birdhouse.
younger population.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, when I went to Italy, it was all over Italy, graffiti every place.
Yeah.
But I don't
Wait a minute.
I don't really understand the motivation behind it. So I'm having a little bit of a problem trying. I'm an old man, so I got to try and figure this out. And But this drives me back to my roots growing up. Because when I was a teenager, we used to take my wife up on the roof and make out with her. So I want to bring
Flat roof.
a little bit of that back into what I'm doing.
The
So I
urban-
wanna take
Yeah,
this
don't we have
urban
a flat
setting.
roof
and
on
start
top of our house?
to elaborate.
So you're
on
hoping birds are gonna make out on the top of it?
Mhm.
it. Love birds.
Hey, they're gonna make out with the cat, the lovebirds.
Yeah, I love birds.
The small cat and the big
And
bird and
the other
everything
thing-
will be
The other
fun.
thing too, I wanna try and get away from
Small cat, a big bird.
the birdhouse thing. You know, because, you know,
Why?
huh?
Why?
I don't know why, because most people make fun of it. And it's kind of like.
Bring them in here, they'll
honestly,
never make fun of you again.
Birdhouses.
Ridiculous. What is
Well, if I could take this and bring it to where I have it in my head,
Mhm.
I'll be happy. I'll keep going that route. Because
How do you even open this one?
it's opens from the side.
If you do what's in your head, we'll all be in jail.
It looks like a high rise in Manhattan.
Farmer.
Farmer.
The birds will be flying into the
When I
cat's
was
mouth.
teaching art, I realized that most of the successful artists, most of the artists, like, people buy art for investment, especially today. They don't give a crap what it is. It's an investment.
What do you
If it
think of
goes-
this
It's like buying
birdhouse?
a
This is
Porsche,
cool.
sticking it in
That's
the
some
garage, and
birdhouse?
have it drive it. It depends upon how much it's gonna increase.
They turn it off?
Guys like
Yeah.
Salvatore
Turn it
Dali,
back on, make you happy.
who did something that was over the top. He couldn't sell that stuff. He had his wife do it. And his wife started this Christmas thing, where he would do a painting every Christmas. And she started patrons buying his work at Christmas time. So you had to have some kind of
It has like a
reason for people
window
to buy.
Mm-hmm.
in
Beautiful.
I believe in functional art, art that functions, art that has a purpose.
Mhm.
So I like to do, when I do a piece of artwork, I like to have it have a purpose.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why, like, I start with this, and I don't know if it's gonna lead someplace else.
So why are you being hard on yourself about birdhouses? It answers your thing. It has a function. It has a.
Yeah, but I could tell you a long sad story leading up to this, and I won't bother you with it. But I would love to keep going on this.
Thank you.
In this
Sure.
direction. And that's why I wanna talk to Joe, because Joe will help motivate me to keep
Yeah,
going.
yeah.
Cause I go to his
It's
course
three-dimensional
openings,
inside and out.
Design, yeah.
and I look at some of the stuff and I'm like, God, it's like really depressing. You know, people with their heads cut off, and intestines sprawling all over the place. I don't want that on my wall.
Yeah.
So I'm trying
You
to.
should put on your birdhouse to see what happens. You never know. Put one in the Mutter Museum, made out of
I
people
started to look
our
up
birds.
graffiti, and when I come home from upstate, I come down through Albany. As in, I'm driving over the highway going through Albany. There's a building there that has graffiti all over the side of it. It's all birds.
Hmm.
Now, driving down and go, what the hell? That's all birds. And so I start thinking, you know, I got to incorporate this. And I airbrushed for 30 years of my life. I was born with an airbrush in my hand.
Nice.
And when I was doing artwork, the galleries wouldn't take my work because they all thought it was airbrushed.
Hmm.
And they didn't want any airbrushing. But when I painted in oil, it would look airbrushed. And they
Oh.
would go, no, that's all airbrush. It's not airbrush, it's produced by brush. It's kind of like the Illuminists. The Illuminists would paint so you couldn't see the brush strokes.
Yeah.
That's the way I would paint. So now the barriers have all been broken.
Oh
I
yeah.
could do whatever the hell I want.
Absolutely.
I could mix collage. I'm doing a piece now on the election because I've been accused of all kinds of stuff over this election, and people get violent. So I'm doing a little piece, but it's a collage, and it's based on the election. But I figured, the hell, you know. First off, I'm an old fart, so they figure, you know, the guy's an old bastard. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Second, it doesn't matter anymore if you use collage or not.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter if you use magic markers, paint, if you use mixed medium. Who gives a crap? And some of the stuff I've seen is like freaking horrible. So I'm thinking, I can do horrible.
Yeah. You can do better than horrible.
Yeah, I can do horrible. So what the hell? You know,
Horrible
go
plus.
that way. So we're gonna see. And I thought I'd bring this. I thought Joe would be here.
Yeah.
Well, he's here now. He's here in spirit, and he'll be able to see
Okay.
it from every angle.
I would love.
He's
I,
right around the corner.
I would
Mhm.
love for Joe to give me a show in like May.
Mm-hmm.
So I could work my whole winter on the show and not have to worry about whether or not so-and-so Adams, don't
Right.
say Adams, but so-and-so is gonna buy any of these things.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just concentrate on the show, because I have like crazy ideas to do.
Well,
So that's anyway,
Feel
that's
like-
what.
I know Adams is gonna love this anyway.
The apartment complex next.
Yeah.
Adams is gonna love this. They
Let me
would
tell
love
you,
this.
What a reason why I say that, and it's probably already in your headspace, but what I think is interesting is you're talking about street art,
Yeah.
you're talking about graffiti, which is
Yep.
urban discussions.
Right,
Last night I saw the movie on the Rondout. Did you see the
I
documentary
haven't
coming out?
seen that.
Really beautiful. We're seeing just
Right.
about urban redevelopment, all that. And if you look at this, kind of awesome condominium you just made, just like love to see the apartment complex version where it is about this
You
kind of
got it.
urban dwelling and
That's-
birds.
that's-
and, yeah,
That's the direction that I wanna go,
yeah,
is to do larger pieces,
great.
but to do them based upon the memories that I have of growing up.
Awesome.
Because at Christmas time, especially Christmas time, we used to live in an apartment house, and we had the fire escape going all the way upstairs. And my parents we were like on the second floor. My parents would throw me outside on the fire escape to put lights up, and I hated that. So I'd have to go out on the fire escape, because I didn't like heights, and decorate the damn fire escape with lights. And then, like I said, then when I was older, when I was an older teenager, we'd go up on the roof with my friends, and I'd bring my girlfriend up there, and we had a little wall that went around that I didn't put on here. But we had a little wall, and we had a little thing where you could enter. And all of these things, after I did this, I said, I need to put the little door up here, the out thing there, and I need the little wall around here. And then I need, this here piece, I need to bring it out so that, or cut a hole here so we can come up the fire escape.
Yeah.
And so my idea is like I would tell the kids at school, when you build one, in the middle of that one, you say, I should have done this. That's the second one.
Uh-huh.
And then the second one goes, I could have tried this. That's the third one. And you just keep going and going. So this is my first one.
Awesome.
Now we'll see where I go from here. So I'm glad you like it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you like
What's
it.
not to like?
like?
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
You owe me a
Effort
beer.
Put into
Huh?
something like that.
Yeah, well, here, when I got started with this, I haven't done graffiti since the kids in school. Because what we did with school is I had all these boneheads coming into my class, and they wouldn't do any work. I said, okay, you know what, you don't wanna do anything? Our doorway, let's start doing the door. So I get these kids, and they come in and say, okay, here, you three, go paint the door. So they start doing graffiti on the door. Then they finished the door. I said, okay, now let's do the whole entranceway, and let's go out the hall. So we went out the hall, and we started to do it up the hallway. And stuff was coming out cool. And the kids that really wanted to do the artwork that we were doing in class, they wouldn't be bothered, because all the boneheads were out in the hallway doing this stuff. But now that I'm, like I said, an old fart, I'm retired, I go around, and those kids are the ones that are working.
Actually doing art.
Joe had a show at his gallery, by John Bernier. Okay, I go in there, and I say, that name sounds familiar.
His
So I say
student.
to Joe, where did this kid go to school? So he goes, I went to visual arts. I said, my cousin teaches at visual arts. He goes, what's his name? Rick Defina. I said, don't know him. He said, my teacher was Al Masser. He said, your teacher was Al Masser. He goes, yeah. I says, I'm Al Masser. He goes, yeah, you were my high school art teacher. I had you back then. He said, you're the one that told my parents that I should take extra classes. So I thought that was really cool.
That's
right?
beautiful.
Well, now I got another kid who's doing glass work. He was in my glass class, and he's the one that got me started with glass, because he would take marbles.
Which high school were you
FDR. He would take marbles, and we were doing metalsmith. So he'd go in the back of the class, he'd take a marble, he'd put it on an anvil, a metal anvil,
Melted.
and try to melt it. And you heat it up and it would blow up.
Oh,
And glass would go all over the place.
nice.
So I said, yeah, there's a lawsuit ready to happen. I said, if you want to do this, let's figure out how to do it, because I never did glass. So we started to read about it, we put it in the kiln, we started to melt it. Now the kid works for a major glass artist in Rhinebeck. And he does chandeliers for Las Vegas and all those other places. He's doing phenomenally well. But that's how I got into the glass part. So it goes from glass. Kids taught me a whole hell of a lot. And now they're still teaching me. So let's see what happens with this. Well, I'm gonna get going. It was a pleasure
Okay.
meeting you.
Thank you.
Your name again?
I'm Riley.
Ryan?
Yeah.
Pleased to meet you,
Come
Ryan.
by the space if you can.
Where is it at?
It's right across from the mobile station. It's
Broadway.
gray with these yellow. It's on Broadway.
Like Cornell Street?
Okay.
So it's
3 blocks.
right
From here.
across, and there's a woodworker next door that you might want to see. We just moved in there, doing really beautiful tables. But we were talking about maybe a public piece because we're trying to make public art, and this seems like maybe something really interesting.
I am I'm so ready to do this.
Oh, cool!
So
Awesome.
if-
I love the story. The story, your
like
story
the
about
backstory.
teaching and using this as something as the preface for students to say, hey, here's a place to start.
Well,
And now when you're retired, you're like, where do I start? And you took your own damn advice and you started
Like
with these. and
you're,
it's
the
great.
interesting thing is like it's the
Where's Angel?
when I was
Such a
in
exciting-
Italy and I'm looking around and there's graffiti all over the place.
I don't know.
I said, I
Be
just
in the
don't
bathroom.
understand
Did you check the
it. So
bathroom?
I'm looking at
Probably in the
trying
ladies'
to
room.
understand
Well,
this.
we can have a conversation about it offline. I can
Really?
give you some input that I just my point of view on it. But
Please, I would love to,
I know.
anything that would help me understand it, because I want to have at least a fairly good idea of where I'm going. I think I know
well,
where I'm going.
I think the simplest thing of a lot of movements is to see its origins, and the origins for that was, as you said, tagging. And tagging was about your way of owning neighborhood or space. People who weren't able to. It was their way of kind of marking. You know, no
Right.
different than cave folk were marking and everything
Exactly.
else. But
Oh.
so it starts there, and then there's
Breakfast.
more complexities as the urban
Yeah,
developments come about what graffiti, what street art, what now there's kind of a new movement where it's almost kind of saying screw the gallery, it needs the gallery, and this is the way a lot of artists now are communicating and showing work because it's not an elitist. They
I-
get to create the gallery.
I go into a gallery now, and when you've studied art and you know the elements of design and how to divide space up, and all, I get so tired of going.
Fibonacci.
I go into the gallery and it's, oh God, here it goes, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, back up, middle down, middle down. It's all the same crap, same thing, all a formula. But it's just a different.
And then
thing.
there's Fibonacci. The Fibonacci rule. You ever see that?
No, I'm not sure what a Fibonacci rule is, because I got. Well, someday you and I will sit down and have a
Yeah.
beer and talk about
Absolutely.
this. Okay.
I'm in the hood too, just a couple blocks down from Broadway Arts.
Yeah.
See, I never thought an old fart like me would be in the hood.
Nice. You are the hood.
Right?
Yeah.
The hood in the hood.
We were driving along the other day, and somebody waves to me, go, "Hey Al, how you doing?" I wave back to them. I go, "Who the hell was that?"
Someone's creating penthouses for birds. I think you're
Yeah, you're good.
You're on it.
She goes, "Who the hell was that?" I said, "That's one of my friends from the hood." She goes, "What the hell hood you talking about?" I said, "You don't know who I am, right?"
That's right.
Okay, take care.
Thanks,
I'll be in
Al.
touch, Riley. Take
See you
care.
soon.
He's great.
All right. So we done good. That was all fun. We're
That
gonna
was
say
filled with cookies and Martinelli's. That seems like
Yes.
a way to start a Sunday.
we'll say goodbye until next time.
Oh, you're still going?
Well, we're always going. We're always going. We're going until the batteries run dead. Say goodbye. See you next time.
Bye.
World needs
We'll
community.
see you on the
So glad you're
radio.
building it.
Thanks. Ciao.
Back then when there was no